Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the college football preview mini-series. I am your co-host, Reggie.
I'm your co-host, Norwood. Our powers combined. We are your HBCU homies. We're here to talk a conference that we care about a little bit, slightly more than the Big 12.
The other half of the
ACC.
alliance, the ACC. We are here. Please remember to like, follow, and subscribe. We've made it, y'all. Last episode of the college football preview series for 2026. We've talked about SWAC, MEAC, HBCU others, Big 10, SEC, Big 12, and now the ACC. And we not and I guess we need to lump this in. This is kind of an audible, not meaning to call an audible literally in the first minute of the podcast, but I am going
We
to
just
add
talked.
I'm going to add in this conversation Notre Dame. Because Notre Dame is a national title contender and they play an ACC schedule. That is the only reason. Otherwise, we'd have to have an entire episode for Notre Dame, and I'm not willing to do that. So we gonna add them in right here, even though support the brothers. But no, I don't like Notre Dame. With that being said, y'all know how it is with the format. We do the tiered system. I have forgiving tiers. I just call them title contenders, dark horses, college football bubble, and then maybe spoilers trying to wake up, aka mid. Norwood is a little less forgiving. He has what'd you call yours this time?
I have we gotta win, right? Question mark. There's a lot of uncertainty with all of these teams. I have we trying, and then I have what are we doing here? And they're all fitting for similar reasons, but different reasons. I started off last time. My friend, it is your turn.
Yes, sir. So for me, in tier one, I have of course recap. Duke. Y'all thought I was going to talk about Miami. Duke is the reigning ACC conference champion. The Duke Blue Devils. I'm going to say that again. Duke, not Miami, is the reigning college football champions. Their first outright ACC title under Manny Diaz since 1962. With that being said, Miami is the class of the conference. They made it all the way to the national championship game, only to lose to Indiana. Correct?
Correct.
They lost to Indiana, and we'll get there. But Mario Cristobal has instilled the Nick Saban tradition of a physical football team, and he's mixed it with the NIL, and he has Miami playing at an elite level. So for tier one, I have Miami, Clemson, SMU, Virginia Tech, and Georgia Tech.
Don't cause me to have you be a new person.
No, Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech. As much as I love Florida State, I do not have Florida State in the tier one. To me, I think
fire, boom, boom, boom.
I have Miami right now as the absolute overwhelming favorite to win the ACC title. They got Darian Mensa from the aforementioned Duke, who transfers to Miami to replace now gone and possibly starting quarterback Carson Beck. Dual threat.
What I tell y'all, I said, hey man, y'all get so down on these people, man. It's some leftovers out there that's solid now.
And of course, they bring back Mark Fletcher, the 6'2", 240-pound running back whose mom attends every game, and then the next great receiver, Malachi Toney, for his sophomore year. So when you
Dark
add
horse
all of that,
Heisman candidate Malachi Toney
as a sophomore, they also bring in Damon Wilson, who is the journeyman that started out at Georgia, transferred to Missouri, and now he's at Miami. Um, with Darian Mensa adding to the dual threat ability, adding to Malachi Toney, and Mark Fletcher. It is. I think they have a potential to be a national championship title contender again. And to me, they just outright lead the ACC, and I don't really think it's close for anybody else.
Correct. I think that the Hurricanes are the bee's knees. They are the absolute best team in this conference. Please don't have me look stupid just because I believe in y'all. Um, I think that the continuity of coach, I think that having Malachi Toney, who is a true talent, he's that Toney family. They might not get to the NFL and be much of nothing, but in college, they're entertaining and enthralling.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that puts them above everybody else. They are a team to watch. I do think that this team is a legitimate title contender. I don't think that the odds are high, but I do think that if a couple injuries, bounces of the ball, they could win a championship.
Yes, sir. So, and then I listen. I know Clemson, y'all are loyal to Dabo, and he be talking all that talk. And we're gonna do it the right way through building Noah's Ark for Jesus. But let me tell you, that ship might have some holes in it, bro. This is probably the last year for me that I would
No, it
double
ain't.
down on
No, it ain't.
Dabo.
No, it ain't. More Dabo, more cowbell, more Dabo. If y'all believe in him, then show me your faith. Faith is active. Faith is present tense. You don't leave him. You stick beside him. Go
Yeah.
Tigers.
Now, not at the Go Tigers like you at but Dabo has been the leader of the resistance of the NIL era. He has refused to really go into the portal. He has refused to negotiate NIL, and as a result, he's getting left behind. And when I say left behind, he finished 4-4 in the ACC last year, and he was crying on the sideline. If y'all remember that, and then
Don't stop believing.
he got passed up by UVA and Duke. UVA 7-1 in the ACC regular season, which was wild. We'll get there. So they do bring in Christopher Vizzina. Dabo has recruited very well, but recruiting doesn't stop once you get them to sign because you got to basically renew that contract every year. Um, they did lose Peter Woods. They lost Cade Klubnik, good or bad. Um, and Peter Woods looks like a monster about to start with the Chiefs. We'll get there when we go to college, when we go to pro football. But I have them there because Clemson and Dabo, I expect for them to bounce back and probably go about 6-2, 7-1 in the ACC. I just don't think that they overtake Clemson. And Dabo, you got mad at the Clemsoning. Remember, he cussed everybody out. Clemson got mad, and we won national championship. We can put that to bed. Let me tell you what comes back as soon as you start losing. They wake up immediate. Clemsoning. That term is right back. And if you keep losing to these teams you're not supposed to, it's going to happen. They're going to start saying, "Oh, you're Clemsoning again," and Dabo, they're going to run you out of there. So while I do
Keep your
have
shoes
them as
on,
the
brother.
number 2 team, I ain't the most confident in this team.
I don't trust them at all. I do trust them. I trust them to keep on the same path that they've been on. And I think that is going to get them nowhere fast. We are now at the point where I want to see how long does he had one national championship?
Had one with Deshaun and one with Trevor Lawrence, correct? I believe so. I think he's got two.
Let's check that. Let's check that to be
I
sure
think he's
before.
got two. I know Deshaun won one because he got flipped in the air by Reuben Foster.
2016 and 2018. Correct. I want to see how long that two national championships get you because it doesn't seem like it's going to look or get any better anytime soon. but he's also all that you've ever had. What do you do? Do you continue this and just rock out until he says that he's had enough, which maybe never?
Oh yeah, well, yeah, you get forced out. They'll force him out. If he decides not to leave, they're gonna force you out. They're gonna buy you out. Let me tell you what buyouts happen now that billionaires are in the game. Go look at Jimbo Fisher. They bought you out 77 million. They buying it. The money don't matter. So at this point, they'll buy Dabo out. You lose. You let Virginia go 7-1 in the ACC again and get beat like that. Y'all you won't be there long. Then of
I'm
course,
intrigued to see how that plays out because they love him. Dabo's their guy. And he supports all of the because it's also he is perfect for that demographic of fan. And they like his belief system and they like the things that come with that. But do you want to win? And that is where it gets interesting to me. And y'all just keep on watching. Y'all keep on listening.
they don't like being losers. Or they do. I don't care. And then there's, SMU got the money. You got Rhett Lashley there, who's going to be one of the better offensive minds in college football with his tempo system. You got Kyle Jennings back. They got Yam Banks as wide receiver. And of course, they bring back all world safety Cody Charles. The thing is, I don't know if they have enough. I think SMU could challenge Clemson. I don't know if they have enough to challenge Miami. I don't think they have enough to challenge Miami. So
I think that's the ideal place for them to be second in the conference. Hey, we've kind of come in here and we've pulled the same thing. Well, we are the case study for Texas Tech, to be honest with you. Hey, we came in, we raised the money, we got out of the AAC, we got over here into this conference. We've been at the top, and the only people who've been consistently better than us since we've been here is the Miami football Hurricanes.
And they beat them last year. Actually, I think they beat them the last 2 years.
We've been better than Florida State. We've been better than Clemson. Honestly, they've been better than Georgia Tech. Like, this is not a place short of names. Hey, we've been better than the UNC Tar Heels with Bill Belichick. So, I think this second for them ain't really the worst place for them to be, and I think that they would be content with that. I think that all the rest of these guys are where it's problematic, and I think that's what they are. I think that they are probably the second best team in this conference.
I don't think that they can outdo Miami, but I think that they would be the only ones that could probably overtake Miami outside of Miami beating themselves.
And once again, you take into account at any point, we know how the bounce of the ball may work and injuries. And if you have a couple of the right injuries or the luck goes your way, then it's very plausible that you could be ahead of things. And I think, get into the playoffs. And number one, we saw what happened with teams that we didn't believe could do anything last year in Indiana. You could win it, but at least you could get yourself in a national title conversation. And that changes things for you.
Not we. I believe. I believed early.
Okay. I'll take that. Now, and then I will say the other part is, this schedule is very advantageous for SMU. You start out with Florida State, whether it's good or bad. If it's bad, they'll throw it away if the rest of your season is good. You play UC Davis, you play Louisville, you play Missouri State, you play Boston College, you play Virginia, you play Cal, you play Syracuse, you get James Franklin in his first year of Virginia Tech, you get Wake Forest, you still get one chance to prove that you are a legitimate team because you get to play that Notre Dame game at the end of the season. If you win or you keep it close, that looks really good for you. And then you finish the season off with a sorry-ass Stanford. This is an ideal situation.
It's there for the taking for sure. You could at least make it to the championship game. But again, just like all other teams.
And no Miami. And no Georgia Tech.
Game. Yeah, no Georgia Tech is crazy. Because Georgia
and
Tech.
Florida State first game.
Florida State's first game. And
Right.
no Georgia Tech is crazy.
No
Because
Belichick either. I don't know if that's good
I
or bad, but I
I
mean,
don't care. Uh, with Georgia
Reggie
Tech,
is whiskey
telling the truth.
disrespectful.
With Georgia Tech, I have them in tier 1. Um, talk about me. But for tier 1, I'm very, very skeptical of any team that changes coordinators. You lost Buster Faulkner to Florida. He is the architect of that. I call it the spread wing T is what they run, the spread veer. You also lost Haynes King, who was apparently about to be the backup quarterback in Carolina. He's played that well in the
And
offseason, in the preseason.
and you lost Aaron Philo because he's now moved to Florida. So like even the guy who knew your offense, who could potentially come in and kind of get you going, he's out of there too. That puts you in a really unique position. That's really bad for them. That's really good for SMU.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's good for SMU. For Georgia Tech, I have you there. I believe in Key. I think he's a good coach. And then my final team in the first tier for me is James Franklin of Virginia Tech. James Franklin of Virginia Tech. They brought a good amount of players from Penn State. He is
Those might be
going,
real Louis bags.
yeah, and like they're going to be really good because everybody knows that Penn State did him wrong. This is Tyrone Willingham all over again. Y'all fired him as he was the number 3 team in the nation who lost to the number 2 team in the nation. I said that in the Big Ten. I'm going to say that here. Y'all, Penn State, were foolish. I think this is Virginia Tech's gain. I think Virginia Tech will be the dark horse here. I think that they have the ability to make the ACC championship game just off James Franklin and talent and the rest of the mid. We already talked about Clemson. We don't know. We already talked about Georgia Tech. We don't know. We don't believe in Florida State. SMU and Miami are clearly the only teams that are clearly better than them. Now, of course, you do have to put it on the field. This is all paper and chalk because we haven't seen what Virginia Tech can do. But I'm a believer in James Franklin because he won at Vanderbilt. He then won at Penn State. And now he's winning. He has the ability to go back to the ace, back to the Southeast, kind of, so I guess Virginia Southeast, and and he still has those recruiting pipelines, and he's really good with the portal. So when you add all of that there, he does the satellite camps. He knows how to recruit. He knows how to get in the portal. He knows how to raise money, and he knows how to clean your program. I think Virginia Tech, if I'm wrong about them this year, I think that they'll be up there next year. I think they're gonna get somebody.
I appreciate all the wonderful things that Reggie has said, spoke glowingly about James Franklin. Let me sum this up very concisely. Where he goes, winning follows.
Mm-hmm.
He was at Vandy. Vandy was used to be homecoming. I've been to a few Vandy homecomings. He went and took Penn State at its lowest, re-legitimized them. And I think that Virginia Tech saw an opportunity and quickly. You see how fast they signed him. And I think that he's not going to be a guy who's going to say the things or act in a manner that is anything less than professional. I do think he took it personally. And I think that is going to drive him to have a path of destruction in a very soft conference. And I mean, if you look at these coaches, let's be real here. There's only one coach who has any more pedigree than him, and he is probably in one of the worst situations. As far as collegiate, Belichick.
Yeah.
Outside of that, nobody has more collegiate pedigree than him. So
Dabo.
Recruiting.
Dabo.
Fair enough. I'll give you that. And Dabo does have more collegiate pedigree. Let me clear that up. But Dabo refused to get into the portal, so he found his own gun and shot himself in the foot.
Flaxico Burris.
So
Pow.
Right. I don't know why you throwing away that good white privilege, but ain't my problem. I had two. So I had Miami, SMU, Clemson, Virginia Tech. I put Georgia Tech in tier 2 because you lose your quarterback, you lose your backup quarterback, and you lose your coach. You probably are looking for some direction. I put Florida State here. I put Florida State here because if they don't, it's gonna be bad. They might. I don't. Ever since they did not get that national championship, they have just been on a bender. Like they are in a bad breakup where life just never got right again.
The ghost of Willie Taggart. You
Right.
do me
And
dirty.
and y'all are gonna have to start understanding that doing black people wrong costs your program. And I mean, I'm talking about just from me and Reggie talk about the juju all the time, but there's just immediate failure in most of the time. Just like we was talking in the chat about Tennessee Titans and Rand Carthon. That man got the program right, then y'all fired him? Y'all fired Willie Taggart, James Franklin? Do y'all not nobody stands up in the meeting and says, hey, we might not want to do this. It's probably not gonna be good for us. That's fine, but I put Florida State in this top tier because they have to be. If they don't find themselves a way to be competitive, it's going to be bad. I think that Florida is at least turning the ship around. Miami is clearly the best of the best in Florida right now. And Florida State, I actually like when Florida State is better. When they're good, football is better. They're one of those type of teams. But right now, they look lost. And they probably should at least kick the tires on Dion.
Yeah, they should. So that wraps it up for your tier 1, right? I think tier 1, we're both done here.
Correct.
Hey, 2310, All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of tier 1, as we said before. But before we move on to tier 2, this is the audible. Notre Dame plays an ACC schedule. Notre Dame is independent. Notre Dame is going to make the college football playoff because they basically put in a rule to make sure that they will make the playoff, formally or uninformally, basically. So I think because they play an ACC schedule where they play, they may not play an ACC schedule this year. They look like they may play a Big Ten schedule this year. No, they play UNC, Stanford, Miami, Boston College, SMU, Syracuse, then Navy, BYU, UNC, Purdue, Michigan State, Rice, and Wisconsin. I think Notre Dame is basically a lock to make the college football playoff.
That is the problem that everybody has. Is there's not really a way for them not to, and that's not really fair to everybody else who has to play a conference game and risk not making it due to a myriad of different reasons. So
they don't even play USC this year.
No, why?
Do you see their schedule?
Why
Are you
would
looking
you?
at it?
No, but I mean, my thing is why? I have a rule that says if I'm already good enough, then I'm not going to try to play anybody. I'm going to try to make this as easy as possible for me not to have to take any risk.
I'm going to go through this schedule one more time. Wisconsin, unranked. Rice, unranked. Michigan State, unranked. Purdue, unranked. UNC, unranked. Stanford, unranked. Finally, we get to somebody with BYU. Navy, unranked. Miami. So you do double back with Miami. So you have,
come on back, player.
Notre Dame, Navy, Miami, Boston College, SMU, Syracuse.
I think we've
Notre Dame basically doesn't play anybody until the last 5 games of the season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then they play BYU, Miami, SMU, and that's really it. Boston College always gives them trouble because they beat them last year, if I'm not mistaken, with Navy and sandwiched in there. Notre Dame has to make the playoff. There's no way that they don't.
Correct. That has been the issue with everybody else is what are we doing if they're guaranteed to basically make it?
That's unfair.
You can go ahead and that's the reason everybody's upset. And I think that teams are going to have to raise 10 times of hell before there is a situation where somebody makes a decision and say, hey, we got to do something else. They have to get into a conference. Them not being in a conference is
the reason that they would make the playoff every year. Because they
correct.
You're playing the terrible teams outside of two or three. You're playing the terrible teams out the Big Ten. Y'all just playing teams just that's them filler schools. Like, come on, man.
Correct.
And I don't want to hate on the black man, Sade, but come on. And he don't make the schedule. Make the schedule. But come on, bro. That's bad. But that's I don't know how you feel about Notre Dame. I felt like we should throw them in there because they're guaranteed. That's really what I talk about it. I don't want to dedicate a whole episode to Notre Dame and Air Force.
Correct.
So tier 2, your turn.
This is the we trying, and these are teams that I think are trying to compete, but I don't think that they are legitimate as far as competing for an ACC championship, and definitely not competing for a national championship. Louisville, Teddy. I mean, maybe y'all call Teddy Bridgewater and see if he'll coach. Georgia Tech, I've already discussed. I told you that losing 2 quarterbacks and a coach is gonna kill you every time. UVA had a very fluky season last year. I don't think that they're going to be the same team from last year. I just don't. North Carolina State, CJ Bailey is solid. He got 15 preseason player of the year votes, but I don't know if they're going to play enough defense.
They're like Maryland to me.
I think that
it's just,
I think that Pitt is mid. And
but Pitt is a spoiler. Pitt is a forever spoiler. They gonna be mid, and then they ended Georgia Tech season last year. They be beating teams like Florida State, Clemson. They stay with a DB. They stay with a DB.
Yeah. And then finally Duke. I think that Duke just isn't good. I think that they're another team that, hey, we kind of outkicked our coverage. We kind of surprised y'all, but overall we're a scam, and everybody knows it.
Okay, so for my tier 2, I had Florida State. I did not want to put Virginia here. I feel like it's disrespectful to a team to go 7-1 in your conference and then you put them as a bubble team. But Tony Elliott has that team. They played in the championship game and they lost to Duke. He has that team and that offense believing in him. And if you can create the culture of winning with such a wide open conference,
do you
outside
believe
of
in
Miami? Do I believe in Virginia? I think that they're a dark horse to make I think they can have a similar season to last year. Not maybe 7-1, probably 6-2, 5-3, but all the 10 games are going to be close. I think they make everybody sweat. Do they get over the hump? I don't know. We talked about Georgia
I don't know.
Oh, go ahead.
He mean no.
I'm being nice. Then there's Louisville. Jeff Brom in that offense. Now he's had him humming for a couple years.
Can you win anything?
It ain't about tier 2 is the dark horse, so I guess you could put them in tier 3. Because I don't think that they're winning. So really, it ain't no tier 2. It seems like it's a tier 1 and a tier 3, which is spoilers and mid for me. So outside, I think Virginia is the only team that's really a dark horse team. I have Duke here because of Manny Diaz. I think he's a wizard at coaching defense, and I think that he's a really good player. He's a really good coach. So I have them in Duke here. But Duke lost so much on offense. They added a bunch of players on defense. They added a 5-star defensive end. They added in a couple. Transfers. They are good on defense, but boy, they got to figure it out on offense. They have got to
Show
figure it
me.
out. They added transfers, but they came from San Jose State, North Alabama. You know, I mean, you may strike gold twice. But I don't think that's gonna happen. So that's it for my tier 2. Tier 3, you put everybody in tier 3. North Carolina State. You can put Syracuse. You could put Cal. You could put Pitt.
Okay. The first thing I need to address is the elephant in the room. That's the reason my tier 3 is what are we doing here? I mean, physically, what the fuck are you doing here? Cal, take your ass back west. Stanford, get the hell out of here.
Andrew Luck, make the decision.
I think that y'all are wasting your time in the ACC. I think that y'all would be better off re-legitimizing that Pac-10 that's trying to do something and being the top over there instead of, I don't know what your travel budget is, but moving kids across the country every other week seems like it doesn't make a ton of sense. And especially if you're not, to be terrible. Like, not lose, to be the absolute worst, Stanford. Like, at one point, you guys had a legitimate, like, program where you were kind of like top 25. You had Christian McCaffrey. Y'all went through that whole thing. And now it's just like, you're just terrible. You might as well stay at home if you're going to be terrible.
Got rid of that coach.
Hey, man, that ain't my problem. But I don't understand it. The only other team I really care to talk about here, and it is the question of the day, is Bill Belichick. How many more seasons does Bill Belichick have?
0. The real question is, does he make it through the season? Remember, then he only signed like a 1-year contract extension or something like that.
Does his relationship make it through the season?
Oh boy, you at that age, that's sub him in, sub him out. She don't want to be there, somebody else will. What he did is she became his handler, and that is where he messed up.
She all in the video too, boy. I'm talking about everywhere she, you know, Pablo doing research, she researching. It is very interesting with that. I don't know. I don't think, and this is UNC's fault. Like,
Y'all
you didn't
did
do
it.
any research, right?
No.
And well, shit like that costs. It's an expensive, poor decision to make on a program that wasn't great, but wasn't terrible. Now you're legitimately dealing with pure foolishness.
Well, they had everybody in place. Remember they had Dre Bly there as the DB coach, and he was getting all the DBs and all of the things, and they were supposed to get Justin Fields. It was there, and then they went after Belichick, and what really happens is y'all are scared to pull the Band-Aid off. Y'all should fire Belichick. After all of this mess that happened with her, his girl,
you're embarrassed,
his partner, and the way that they've handled everything, that gave you your get out of jail free card because you put yourself in jail, but they are literally telling you walk on out.
Close the door. I'm good in here.
But y'all keep acting like y'all want to stay. Y'all should get out of there. Get out of there and do what you have to do, because
stay in there.
Y'all are, to me, they are about to have a Colorado last year type year. Like, and Belichick is stubborn, and when it comes to football, what UNC will not stand to be is worse than Duke indefinitely. So I don't know if Belichick makes it through the year. I will say they've been quiet. Since all that mess happened and Pablo got a hold of it, since then, they've been really quiet. Ain't been a lot of hoopla over there. So we'll see. And maybe he turns it around. But I think Belichick is too far past this era of football to be able to stay as the coach. The real question is who gets fired first, him or Dion?
Same. They go right on the making commercials together.
Both being the Affleck with Saban, shaking their canes. Why
Right.
I oughta. And then of course
Hey,
Fran
UNC,
Brown.
I'm gonna give y'all one cheat code, and I'm gonna tell y'all. I know that y'all have had some issues with black students at the University of North Carolina. You have been embarrassed by Bill Belichick, but there is a guy that is in South Carolina
Berry.
that is a fantastic football coach. He would do wonders for you guys, and it would be a very easy transition from Orangeburg.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at that at all.
I think
Chennis
that
Berry
is
to
a
South Carolina would be
to South
and he'd be
Carolina
right
or
up the road.
UNC.
I'm sorry, UNC. Chennis
UN,
Berry from South Carolina State to UNC, right up the road.
And let me tell you what he ain't gonna do. He not finna have no 23-year-old woman doing no whole lot of foolishness.
No.
And y'all,
What I wouldn't hope is that they use him as a stabilizer. And and they bring him in for a couple years, and then the new hot shot Caucasian coach comes out there.
I actually don't think that they could do that with him. I think that he will come in with what he has in that area where he's dominated, and he would be good enough where you probably couldn't just throw him out with the bathwater.
South Carolina State, don't get mad now, but I mean it's bound to happen.
I think that would be a great decision for you too. I think that he wouldn't leave the cover bare, and then I think that he would be sending down guys that he could not use.
I was about to
For
say he
whatever
did the
reason.
same thing with Benedict. He
Correct.
left the offensive coordinator at Benedict. He left the players there. He took a few, but he left most of them there. And the first year he was gone, they weren't bad. Now, after that, you're not Chennis. But I can see him, and he's such a, I don't know. Again, we don't know Chennis, never met him. I know people that do know him, and they all vouch that he is everything that you see.
I do know a person who knows him and has known him for a very long time. He speaks glowingly, and he is a person who is, I think, tapped in would be an understatement.
UNC, that's the move. That is the move. I'm getting behind that because I think Belichick is fired. Or y'all can triple down on dumb. Y'all done double down, triple down on dumb. It don't matter to me. Y'all tend to like these old white dudes as coaches. You went back to Mac Brown, then you went and got Belichick. So I mean, keep following the same trend if you want. Don't matter to me. Who else you want to talk about? Syracuse?
Oh, I mean, the mess, Fran Brown. I think that you are probably not long for this world either. You need to update your resume and start reaching out to other people you know when they finna tell you, hey, got a minute?
Be a really good replacement for Chennis at South Carolina State. I think he's a great recruiter and a great developer of players.
I'm not sure about that. My concern, especially with guys coming from non-HBCU trying to go to being black and go to, I mean, not coming from the HBCU culture may present issues for him.
Yeah. And how it's run and all that. But I mean, that's something. Hey, bro.
And and budget wise, I mean, if we are more accustomed to doing a lot more with a lot less. When they tell you all the things that you don't have, I assume for a lot of those guys can't do it.
Yeah.
And if they end up being there for a long time, I don't know if it means the same thing to them as it does to people who came from that.
Fair, because I have not been a fan of our demographic that don't have the HBCU experience coming in and being coaches.
It's
For the
tough
most
because
part.
they're used to this, and then a lot of these guys were also PWI athletes. So they're only used to seeing it this way. They're only used to having, all of the resources. And then when you come here and you have to kind of, shout out to Deshaun Jackson and Mike Vick, but I mean, and Mike Vick is just fighting for his life.
Into a lose-lose
But
situation.
it's not what you think it is. I think that Deshaun Jackson's dad being a coach definitely helped him out. But if you don't come from that, then I think that it's like, why don't y'all have the things that I'm used to having? And I get that, when you go to a different job somewhere else and you used to having systems and processes and technology, you get there, you like, y'all using
It takes a
DOS?
special person to be able to build, because when you go to when you go to HBCUs, you
I'm
are
laughing,
not
but I'm also
only
serious.
charged with developing or winning. You're charged with revamping and updating the podcast. I mean, updating the football team and almost the athletic department as a whole.
Department, yeah.
So, yeah, you're right. I'm not gonna say that. But Fran, if you buy in, it's a way to get the stench off you, because there's some stench up there in Syracuse. Or Florida State may come get you. I don't know. I don't know what would happen, because Norvell might be out of a team too.
Or I mean, UNC, like I think
North
there are just
Carolina
other
State.
safer landing places for him where he can get what he needs done and not have to be like, everybody can handle certain things. And especially as I hit 40 now, I understand that the things that I've experienced in my life, I was built differently to go through things and be able to manage things. And there's a lot of people be like, quit, give up. I can't. I'm not used to this. They don't scare us at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Just another roadblock. I just got to figure out how to get around it. Y'all keep trying to go
Right.
over
And
it.
right. And it won't even take me that long, but you get so consumed in the moment that I could never do this and couldn't, because you said you couldn't. But for me, give me a little bit of time.
So who you picking? Are we both picking Miami?
Yeah, it's Miami in almost in a runaway at this point. Now, I mean, Virginia and Duke, I can't see them doing it again, which means they are. SMU.
SMU is the dark horse for me, but I'm picking Miami.
I would really like to see SMU shake some shit up. I mean, if you could really
they did
come
last
back,
year. They literally shook Miami almost ain't make it, remember?
But I'm talking about shake it up and get in, like, be a real, like, they're still on the cusp of being relevant, being a contender, and really saying, like, we pod. And we remember when they were trying to raise, was it like $50 million to buy themselves?
$144 million.
And they did it in like a week. And to buy yourself out of an old conference, get into the ACC, and then raise the money and be tops in the ACC. Yeah, this is, and if anybody's rooting for them, it needs to be Texas Tech. This is a case study on buying your way to the top. It is plausible, it's reasonable, and you can do it.
Yeah,
That's
this is your option. This is your year. I'd love to see Florida State get back, as we said before, because I remember the days of the Florida State Miami game when it was just
it's
over
everything. It's Florida State, Miami. It's Florida State, Florida. It's, I mean, them at the top of the ACC. They make it more difficult for everybody else, and you legitimize a conference who's not very top heavy. Like, the ACC needs Florida State to be good. They're one of the, I mean, they're probably the best overall program in the ACC. Like, Miami was good, but then they were blacked out for a long time. So Florida State's been doing the heavy lifting. So yeah, it's important for your brand recognition for them to be back. But can't nobody do that for them but them.
Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the whole mini series of the ACC episode for sure. We have just quick recap of today. We picked Miami for the ACC. We picked Texas Tech for the Big 12. We both picked Ohio State for the Big 10.
Correct.
SEC, we both picked Georgia. Swack and Miak, we both picked South Carolina State. Swack,
Correct.
Norwood picked Jackson State. I picked Alabama A&M. Doubling, tripling down. So,
Impressive.
y'all let us know when this reel comes out. The graphic will be right at the bottom of the reel. We don't want to hear none of that. You said this, you said that, BS. No. Because a lot of y'all, like Norwood like to say, and I didn't notice it until he brought it up, y'all like to just argue our opinion and don't say nothing. Go ahead and say so. If I'm wrong for Alabama A&M, tell me why. Don't just say, "Oh my God, you crazy." Oh my, no, shut up.
No. Tell me who you picked, because you love to talk about who I picked, but who did you pick? Well, we'll never get there, and that's funny. I find that very funny, but I don't. And I see y'all. So y'all remember, please like, follow, subscribe. This is the end of the college previews. Please go back and listen to all the content we put out. More professional content coming soon. Adios, mi amigos. God is love. We love you. Love yourself. Peace.
Wait,
hold on. So what they do? Like, follow, subscribe. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, boy.